Hello and welcome to Blytheway Business News. I am Bonnie Hughes. Our guest today is Connemara Mining. They have some very interesting gold and zinc projects in Ireland. And here to tell us all about the company is Patrick Cullen, CEO. Hello, Patrick, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Bonnie. Good to see you again.
You just announced that you've decided to go with a name change for the company. Tell us about that.
Okay, so Connemara Mining's been around a while. It's listed in 2007. Initially established to pick up zinc assets in the Republic of Ireland. Since then, the company's evolved a little bit. I mean, zinc is still a very important part of Connemara. We have a share in the Stone Park project with our partners, Group 11. We're a junior partner there, and we also have gold projects. And we had previous joint venture projects in Wicklow and Wexford in the southeast of Ireland. We reversed those joint ventures over a year ago, and now we have a very decent land package in Wicklow and Wexford on the gold, 15-kilometre trend. We also have gold in the Dalradian rocks of Donegal, so not too far from where Dalradian have been developing that mine. It's now private, Orion. So yeah, so it felt like it was a good time to look at a brand change, a name change, not to just be associated with that zinc, but also with this gold future that we have. And Arkle, we wanted to maintain our Irish heritage. So many of the viewers will recognise Arkle as a very famous racehorse that won the Cheltenham Gold Cup 3 years in a row back in the 60s. It's Cheltenham Gold Cup week now, so I guess the timing might be fortuitous. So yeah, so I'm pretty excited about it. There's new people involved. We have new board. I mean, I'm here now a year on the board as CEO. So yeah, so excited about the name change and getting on with it.
I guess then the strategy going forward will be to now focus more on the gold projects. Is that part of the plan?
Well, I mean, we're still very much involved at the Stone Park project with Group 11, and we funded the drilling that's still ongoing. So we're probably going to maintain our share there, or at least evaluate that as things go forward, and we see how things pan out. The zinc price is coming back quite strongly now again. People are looking at Ireland, and our share price has taken some damage in the past year, but in the sector in Ireland, it's been difficult for the junior explorers. People must remember that the majors are still exploring and spending money in Ireland. Boliden, Teck are still active in Ireland, and of course Glencore have got the Palace Green. They've just upgraded that deposit in their annual report by over 1 million tonnes, so up to 45 million tonnes.
And how far is that project from
That
Stone Park?
is immediately adjacent to Stone Park,
Right.
and so we've always viewed Stone Park as a strategic asset, and welcome the activity that our new partners, Group 11, have brought in there, and they're doing some very interesting things. They have this concept of the big think. They're going right back to scratch, looking at all the old data, old seismics. There's new data being acquired by the government, new airborne geophysics, which is currently, we think we're just over 80% acquired. That's going to be coming out. So they have a big land package in the Limerick Basin. So Stone Park is right in the middle of all the action, adjacent to Palace Green, and really where the opportunity lies. And so they're looking at some really interesting new targets. And that's the drilling that's, some of the drilling that's ongoing now. So we expect to see updates on that, and we're excited about that. But as you say, on the other hand, we have these gold assets, and we're 100% on the gold. So I've been trying to incrementally improve the amount of data we have, improve our understanding. We've tested some existing models. We had some very good hits in Wicklow. Initially 16 grams a ton over 2 meters. Just over 5 grams a ton over 8 meters in that drill hole, and then we went back in the summer. We didn't get the high hits, but we still got 2 and 3 grams a ton background grade. So it's an interesting target. There are other targets which remain undrilled, and then we have the 15 kilometers to play with. So right now we're getting active. We're about to go back on the ground there, and I can talk about that in a little bit more detail. But essentially, yeah. So keeping our footing on the zinc, but we're pushing 100% gold projects as well.
You just completed a fundraise, and
That's
what
right.
way are you targeting to use that money for?
So we did a small fundraise, and we're very aware of the fact that our share price is down. We want to minimise dilution to our existing shareholders. We've got some very solid backers that have come in with us, that have stayed with us since it was largely an Irish company, and there's a lot of UK money now, and so we've done that intentionally. We have a very low burn in terms of corporate overheads. So we're aiming to just top up our working capital, and then there's going to be money spent now immediately in Wicklow and Wexford. So that's really where the first of the money will go, and then we'll see how it plays out beyond that.
And if I understand, you were doing an airborne survey as well?
Okay, so no, the airborne survey I referred to it's the TELUS program. It's a government-sponsored program in Ireland. There's a huge amount of money that's spent on research in the geosciences in Ireland, actually, through the ICRAG program. And our partners, Group 11 at Stone Park, they're involved there. And what's happened is government has allowed industry to assist with some of the funding around outreach, social outreach. To make people aware that this is happening in their area, planes flying over constantly and so forth. So in return for that sort of contribution that the companies are making, they're allowing areas to be surveyed out of turn. Initially it was just north to south and half the country was completed. So now the Wicklow, the Limerick Basin's been covered, and we'll get the data, the public will get the data at the same time. So that's the sort of trade-off. Sometimes when you acquire your own data, it's very expensive, but it's yours for a period.
And it would be beneficial, the data would be beneficial for targeting
so
drilling.
they're looking at some big structures and some, what really we have at Stone Park, and the current theory for us is that it's potentially a slightly distal target, and Palace Green is something similar. So there's the idea that there's a source to all of this, and the structures that may provide that source of mineralization have yet to be discovered. So the TELUS data is going to bring together a lot of existing surface surveys and some other survey work, but it's going to put it into a kind of a regional package. So that's very important, and that's when they talk the big picture. They step back and really start to look at things from a kind of fundamental perspective and work it out. So quite exciting. In Wicklow, Wexford, we do something similar. We have lots of data. We have airborne that the previous joint venture partner acquired, 400,000 euros worth of airborne survey. Lots of soil surveys and stream sediment surveys and all the work that we've done and drilling from the 80s. I mean, the original gold discovery was by Rio Tinto, RTZ, back in early 80s. So, now I'm going back there, and the idea is to actually, we've got all that data, and it's great, it's guiding us and it's giving us an idea, but there's cover and we have to understand what's underneath. So one of the things we're looking at now is just getting much higher density, a higher resolution of data. And so we're hoping that some of the patterns and some of the targets will sort of emerge from that. But nonetheless, we just still have lots of really interesting and very good grades in terms of anomalies that are completely untested. So we have to get on with that.
And you just recently went to PDAC, one of the biggest mining conferences in Toronto. Did you find any new investors?
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people, and we presented and met many people. There are a lot of gold projects at PDAC, and we're London listed. So really, for us, we're not there chasing the investor. We're really to understand what people are doing and where the interest might lie. 25,000 people again. I think the number is more or less same as last year. So. In terms of appetite for investment, Canada's changed a little bit. People are maybe interested in other things beyond gold and gold resources and that, but gold prominent definitely, as always. So yeah, a good experience. Got to meet some interesting people and see where the mid tiers and the larger companies where they're looking.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And we hope Ireland. So because jurisdiction is still at play. I mean the fact is that anywhere in the Western sort of hemisphere is of interest now. There's a lot more work happening, and I just to very briefly touch on that, because Dalradian sold the project privately to Orion, so we hear less about it in terms of the market, but that's still going on. So in the news they've actually moved into the planning phase,
yes,
and so they've made a progress there. Galantas to the south, very small mine, very rich vein. That's permitted and produced its first concentrate, so they've kind of passed that hurdle. I spoke with another Canadian junior who are going to get busy in Ireland for drilling for gold this year, quite soon. And there's some unlisted or not AIM-listed company that have been drilling north of us in Wicklow. So there's gold activity in Ireland, and maybe it isn't the rush that I was hoping for last year, but the markets have been difficult. But I think with this gold price is recovering and quite strong, and it's certainly, for me, I think it's going to attract some more interest.
And do you think there's some opportunity for you to potentially acquire other land in Ireland?
Always, because we're there, we know the people, we know the technical people that have been operating there for years, we know the, I mean, obviously we have a relationship with the department and the rest, but, we're that's the whole point of, a company like Connemara or Arkle to be soon, and I'll come to that, that we can move quite quickly on opportunities like that, which.
And what can investors expect to hear from Arkle in the next few weeks?
So Arkle's been, we've had the EGM, the company, the paperwork's been done in Dublin. It has to be done physical paper copies, so it's taking a couple of days more than maybe it would have been nice to get it done really quickly. But I think towards the end of next week or the week after, we'll officially come out with the new website announcement, and that's the first thing that's going to happen. And then we'll have an update on all of our projects, because we've got a number of zinc projects as well as the gold, and then we're expecting some updates towards the end of the quarter into April from Group 11, our partners at Stone Park, in terms of where things are going in terms of the big picture and what's going to happen there, and then we'll announce the work that's starting in Wicklow. And we'll just take it from there. So there should be a few things to watch out for in the coming months.
And what are you hoping to accomplish on the projects this year?
So drill targets for Wicklow, that just sort of get a better understanding of where this trend is going. And I'm applying some new techniques that have never been done in Ireland. It's nothing it's very high tech. It's just kind of going back and rethinking how we can do this. And if that's working out, then we'd like to extend that program sort of to the entire 15-kilometer trend that we've got, or at least large portions of it, and just really cement that as a good target, and really hope to attract perhaps someone to come into that. We'll see we'll see how that works out, and then we'll look to keep our hand in the Stone Park, because zinc prices are certainly going to be robust, and that's the place to be for us in Ireland. We've got Palace Green, Stone Park, the two first and second largest deposits of zinc and lead by metal contained. There's been a lot of work going on there between Palace, between Glencore and us with our partners. So the place to be, certainly.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Patrick.
Yeah.
And we look forward to keeping an eye on those drill results and the future potential of the company. And thank you for joining us on Blytheway Business News. Have a very profitable day.